Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found, was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace hath brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found, was blind, but now I see.
My name is Richard Thompson, and I'm particularly grateful for the opportunity to thank the families and loved ones of those who gave.
This one said the microphone. No, the handheld. Handheld.
We have advanced technology. I'm particularly grateful for the opportunity to thank the families of those who so selflessly and literally gave of themselves to further our efforts to understand and fight disease. Their generosity not only helps our research efforts to understand, treat, and prevent disease, but as you've seen, it also helps train new doctors and others. By way of introduction, I'm a scientist, not a physician, and a lot of what we do is to try to figure out how the body works, how diseases act to cause problems, and ultimately how to stop them. We mainly focus on what's happening at the molecular level, which in many cases is where the action is. And the methods that we use are mostly optical because they are so sensitive and specific. A wise person once said that the eye is the window to the soul, and much of our work makes use of the fact that in some cases it's easier to study the biology of diseases by looking in the eye than in any other way. Some of our current work makes use of a sophisticated new camera called a FLIO to look in the back of the eye for biochemical signs of disease. Some of the diseases we're working on to stop you may have heard of or even know someone who has them. One is called AMD, and it's the most common cause of blindness in the elderly in our country. For some people, what happens as they age is they get a buildup of tiny deposits, microscopic ones, in the retina, and they contain fat, proteins, and actually minerals. And ultimately, these deposits starve the cells in the eye of nutrients kill them, and that's how you become blind as a result. This results in a loss of central vision, which makes it initially very difficult to drive, to read, or to do fine work like sewing. We believe that minerals are an important part of this process and have developed a new way to study them in the eye. We are now testing this method in aged animals who also get the deposits to see how well it works. None of this would have been possible without the generosity of your family members and others whose eyes we used to develop and test our method. Another that you've heard of is Alzheimer's disease, which actually leaves signs in the eye before the patient's memory has begun to falter. What we're trying to do is to detect the disease early so treatment can be started in time to prevent the loss of memory and ultimately death. Lots of scientists and physicians are trying to develop methods to detect Alzheimer's early. Some of them are blood tests, and others require a spinal tap or even a radiation scan called a PET scan. Our method would require a painless eye exam that's taking less than 2 minutes. Through the kindness and wisdom of your family members and others like them, we have been able to test scores of eyes to develop our method. We benefit from their generosity literally every day. You met Dr. Boucher, who in addition to being from Australia, is the person mainly in charge of training our medical students in the study of anatomy. The University of Maryland graduates more than 150 new physicians every year, not to mention hundreds of physical therapists, dental and nursing students who also receive anatomy training as well. This training in all cases is absolutely essential. There's no substitute for it. You can't get it online. You really have to work with the individual persons and the individual donor. And as Dr. Boucher pointed out, these folks who are medical students get a strong attachment with their donors as they learn from them, even though they never met them. The generosity of your family members and many others continues to make this possible. Something I should mention is how gently and respectfully our students are taught to treat the mortal remains of our donors. For some students, this is also their first introduction to the importance of patient privacy and confidentiality, a principle that's embraced in the Oath of Hippocrates that physicians, including ours, have followed for more than 2,000 years. Finally, I want to mention that this is a memorial service to remember your loved ones and family members, but it's also a victory celebration, that they've given a gift that keeps on giving. And as a result of that, this is when we train our students, they take this with them throughout their careers of decades in duration. And for scientists like me, if we're lucky and if we're pretty smart, we can do something that can really make a big achievement and really help other people. And so the donation that your friends and family members have given, is a huge deal and keeps on giving for decades to come. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Martine Stargani-Gordon. I'm the Chief of Staff for Public Health Services within the Maryland Department of Health. And Public Health Services in Maryland, we oversee vital public health for all Maryland residents. Things like infectious disease prevention, family health, food safety, including working with the State Anatomy Board. I am very thankful for the opportunity to be with you all today to express the department's gratitude to the State Anatomy Board, its members, its very hardworking staff, and importantly to express our gratitude to the donors we're honoring today. As every speaker has said, it is a truly amazing gift that body donors provide to us. Their generous decision to donate their bodies upon their passing to research and the study of medicine benefits us all. We each trust, whether going to our primary care doctor for a routine visit, bringing our child to their first dental exam, or God forbid, trying to comfort an aging parent before a critical operation. All of us trust that the doctor who's evaluating us, diagnosing us, operating on us, knows exactly what to do. We trust our doctors and other healthcare professionals will know what to do from their first moment on the job. And in Maryland, they do, in no small part because of the generous body donors. And Marylanders are generous. We are fortunate that a significant number of Marylanders choose to be body donors so that our medical students and other healthcare professionals can have valuable practical training throughout the state. Because while the Anatomy Board is located in Baltimore, its work supports all of Maryland. And the State Anatomy Board has an additional significant mission for Marylanders. Just as critical to managing donations for medical training and research, the board ensures respectful final disposition for Marylanders who pass without the means or family to take care of their affairs. I mentioned the staff of the board initially, and I want to tell you they are hardworking, respectful, and considerate in their efforts to ensure no Marylander is left unattended upon their passing. I began with my gratitude for being here with you all. I've expressed gratitude to the board and to the donors themselves. And there is one more group I'd like to thank, and that is you, the donors, families, and loved ones. There is a sentiment in multiple faiths that when a loved one passes, our memories of them become a blessing. We spoke of this earlier. That we knew them and the time we were able to spend with them is truly a gift. I note it today to express my appreciation to you all for your generosity during your grief. Thank you so much for honoring your loved one's donation decision. May the memories you hold of them be a blessing, just as their generous donation is a blessing to all of us in Maryland.
name is Lisa Stevens. I'm a first-year medical student at the Johns Hopkins School of Medicine. I want to start at the beginning. Before I started medical school, I thought that anatomy was about learning how the body is put together. But what I didn't grasp then is that at its core, it's really about learning from a person. I want to take a moment to speak to that person, to my donor. While I never had the opportunity to meet you, I know that you lived a full life. You had people who loved you and habits that were only yours. And you carried decades of experience in the body that you entrusted to us. And in giving it, you reached forward in time and touched the lives of so many people that you never met. When I thought about how to possibly bring across the impact of that gift today, a metaphor that I thought of was a stone falling into a pool of water. A choice, like the stone dropping, made quietly but intentionally. It causes one ripple and then another. That ripple reaches a first-year medical student standing at the threshold of her training, and it changes her. It reaches her entire class, and it changes them. And then that incredible gift will reach and touch every single patient that we ever care for. Those ripples are real, and they are already spreading. The donors were our first teachers, and the lessons we learned from them will forever frame our approach. Each day when I arrived at the anatomy classroom, it didn't matter whether I had been rushing to get there in the morning or whether maybe I hadn't had enough sleep the night before. When I stepped over that threshold into the classroom, I felt the gentle weight of their gift in that room. And the more I reflected on that feeling, the more I understood what makes it so extraordinary. The donors chose to give one of the most profound gifts that you could possibly give to another person. And on top of that, they gave it to someone that they had never met. The level of trust that demonstrated in us to honor that gift, and the fact that they gave it simply because they knew it would matter, without it needing to come back to them. That is the purest form of generosity. On top of that, I wanted to add something personal. Learning from you, my donor, it gave me something more than just facts. It asked me to show up differently, with a quiet, determined focus and a new kind of listening. A listening that wasn't just about gathering information, but about presence and respect. I knew that to honor the donor's gift fully, I needed to show up fully myself, to be present, to be worthy of what the donors had given, to never let the weight of that gift become ordinary. And in learning to offer that to you, I began to understand the kind of doctor that I want to be. Regardless of what specialty I go into or where I practice, I know that I want to be someone who sees the whole person in front of me and remembers that they carry a full life inside of them, just as you did. It's really beautiful that we've all been brought together today from our separate lives, tethered by individuals whose generosity is so powerful as to transcend well past a single life. To the families and friends here today, your loved one inspired us, challenged us, and reminded us of the extraordinary responsibility we have chosen to undertake. We carry their memory and their kindness into everything that we do. Thank you, and I speak for all of my classmates, from the bottom of our hearts, for allowing us to learn from them. It is a privilege and an honor that we will never forget. Thank you.
As we come to the conclusion of today's service, I'd like to thank you all for coming, to thank your family members and to remember them in this final moment. Well, today is focused upon our donors. As our public health officials indicated, the board also manages the dignified final rest for all those individuals in Maryland who passed away without family to care for them, or the means to see for their final affairs. Under law, these individuals are called unclaimed, but they are not truly unclaimed. We have claimed them. We have cared for them. Many of these individuals have lacked family. Today, perhaps while we think of our own loved ones' generosity, spare a moment of that generosity for those who did not have family in those final moments. Perhaps for today, we can be part of their family and hold them in their hearts for that moment. Amongst those who come to us by necessity are the very young. Every year, the Anatomy Board manages the respectful and dignified burial of infants who have come into our care. These individuals come into our care for many reasons, but each one represents a tragedy. Each one represents a life that was never lived, a loss to us all. We miss the poetry they may have created, the discoveries they may have made, and the families they may have enriched. Some of those little ones we remember never knew their family, never had a chance to form the bonds that bind us all together. While medicine could not save them, we can remember them and lay them to eternal gentle sleep in our gardens. As we close out today's event, I would like to take a moment to thank all of those who have made today and the program possible. A thank you to the members of our military honor service supporting their fellow veterans. A thank you to our speakers and our musical presenters who have deeply enriched our service today. A thank you to our students and personal appreciation to the donors who have been here with us. I would also thank the program staff led by our Executive Director, Mr. Juan Ortega, who is responsible for providing the care, the dignity, and the respect that you have heard from multiple of our speakers today, and the board's team who have organised today's memorial service. And a last thank you to all of the donors and the families who are here today to support the choice that their loved one had made. That concludes our service for today. Thank you again.